Hey, Lauren here from Sexosophy, and today I wanted to talk to you about sex therapy and what it's really like to come and see a sex therapist or a sexologist, because I think there are a few misconceptions lurking around about what it's actually like. And the first thing I want to speak to is I've had a few clients say to me at the beginning of this year that they're concerned that they didn't really need sex therapy or coaching, or that they weren't really worthy of it because they didn't have a history of trauma. And it's something I'd never thought of before, but most people think or naturally assume that something really bad needs to have happened in someone's past or your past in order to warrant needing to go and see a sex therapist, and that simply isn't the truth. Some sex therapists do focus on assisting people who have a history of trauma and sexual abuse, but that's not always the case. And those specialists that help people are usually clinical psychologists that have extensive training in different approaches to trauma. So no, you don't have to have a history of trauma or something really bad happen to you to feel that you need to go and talk to someone about your sex life and your sexuality. The women that I see in coaching are usually experiencing anxiety about sex, and women experience anxiety about sex because they feel stressed to the max. Everything that's happening in their day-to-day lives is just spilling over into their sex life, and they're living in a quasi survival mode, and that is totally incompatible with your libido. I'm telling you, it's honest truth. You cannot be stressed to the eyeballs, living off your primal brain fear responses that tell you to be on alert, that you're not safe, that you're not secure, and then feel sexy or interested in sex in the nighttime when it's propositioned. It's probably not going to happen. So women are coming to see me because this natural state of just being in hyper arousal and being way too up here and brain sicking, problems sleeping, troubles eating, just problems switching off in general, are causing their libido to shut down because their bodies are saying that their libido isn't a priority right now. Just staying alive and staying safe is. So we can get caught up in this really crazy loop that makes us think that it makes it appear as though something's really, really wrong. Because women still love their partners, or they still want to share that experience of intimacy with them. But when it comes to sex, there's just nothing there, and arousal can be a real challenge. So if you're feeling like you used to be interested in sex, you used to have desire, you used to have really good levels of arousal, good mojo, good libido, whatever it is that you want to call it, and all of a sudden that's falling flat, I'd advise you to take a look at what's happening in your daily life first and foremost, and whether there's some conflict going on in your relationship that could be meaning that you don't feel safe, or you don't feel open enough to give your body in a sexual way because of what's going on in terms of arguments, conflict, disagreements in your intimate relationship. That's myth busting number 1. Number 2 is that you need to come to a sex therapist as a couple. And I don't really agree with that. I think it's really necessary for some situations and some relationships, especially when they're at a crisis point. Two people need to go together. And crisis point means that you're talking about separating, but you really want to salvage the relationship, or it feels like there's still a lot there. So I work with women exclusively, and it's a journey that I've been on myself as well. I've gone to sex coaches and done my own personal work on my own without my husband present. And it's mainly because it wasn't necessary for him to come. He didn't have the same sets of conditions and limitations on his sexuality like I had. Like, I've received millions and millions of messages about why I shouldn't be sexual, why I shouldn't be open, why I need to keep a lid on everything. And I had to undo all of that through my own work. So he didn't need to be present for any of that, really. So you can come to sex coaching, sex therapy, by yourself as a woman. And the women that I see, usually their partner is very, very, very supportive. Their partners are very kind, very loving. They just want to have contact or see or be exposed back to the woman that they usually met at the beginning of the relationship. And for some reason, there's been shut down for her. And their partners just really want to see that woman again, or really want to meet that woman that's more carefree about her sexuality and about her sex life, and more giving as well. So it's not necessary that they come, because we're here to work on you. And one of my mottos that I share with women is that when you start to work on yourself and explore yourself and liberate yourself, your partner will walk along with you for that ride, and they will learn from you, because you are learning about yourself. And men, if you're in a heterosexual relationship, I can tell you right now, men, really mature men that really deeply love their women with all their hearts, just want to see their partner in pleasure. It gives them so much pleasure to see their partner in pleasure, and it's a really beautiful thing. So that's mainly what they're asking for, and they're already feeling very free within themselves. It's just that it's up to us as women, or it's up to her to give herself that sense of approval that she can be sexual, that she can, so then she can start to say, I am a sexual woman, and really own that, because that is a really beautiful thing. Myth busting number 3. I just want to bust the myth around what a sex therapist is, or what a sex coach is. So I use the term sex coaching. I like coaching because it's really active, and it's really focused on what is going on in your life now, and what can we change now so that the future is better for you, so that you're more embodied, so that you're more present for sex, so that you're letting go and you're enjoying it, and you're really feeling your arousal, and you're able to speak up and make sound and get really juicy. So I love the word coaching because it's really active. In the first session that I have with women, it's an hour and a half long. We use that hour and a half to explore what's gone on in the past. What stories has she heard about sex? What messages did she get? Did she get some shitty advice from Auntie Flo a few years ago that she has to put out for her husband X amount of times a week to keep him happy, or else the relationship's doomed? We look back at all of that, at what's going on in her life now, what her lifestyle is like, and what she's like in a day-to-day way. If she's really, really, really giving in everything in life, then it's going to be really hard for her to feel really giving in sex, because she might be completely depleted. So we talk about all of that, and I share some information with women in the first sessions about what can be inhibiting your libido and how to actually down-regulate so that you can feel more open and liberated. So that first session is an hour and a half long. It's really exciting because once we shed that sexual story, from the second session we can start to move on and really hone in on what it is that you can bring into your life, so that it's more enjoyable, so that you feel more connected, so that you're using touch with intention, so that you're not just responding because you think that's what someone else needs to hear. So coaching is really great for that. And lots of people call themselves sex coaches. For myself, I am really proud of the fact that I have qualifications to back up what I do. So just to quickly explain it, I was a nurse, so I got a Bachelor of Nursing. I wanted to learn more about talking to people because I loved working in mental health and drug and alcohol. So I got a grad dip of counselling so that I could emerge the other side as a counsellor, and I could actually call myself a counsellor. A few years later, I went through and did the sexology degree through Curtin University at Perth, which is really exclusive. It's the if it's not the only one right now, then it's only one of two that are available in Australia. So it's really specialised and really unique. And I completed the graduate diploma so that I could call myself a sexologist. Really, really important. So when you want to see someone to talk about your sex problems, I'd advise that you check out what their qualifications are and if you feel really comfortable with that. One of the things I want to put out there though is ultimately it's about how comfortable you feel talking to that person about your sex life. And that's why I offer a discovery call for 20 minutes before any woman ever books in for a session. I have done this with every client for the last 4 years. I always talk to them on the phone before we book a session because I want you to feel assured that I can help you with your concerns. I don't want you to get into the room and go, fuck, I do not want to talk to her. I feel closed with her. I don't feel safe. Your safety is, and your sense of confidence in the person that you see for coaching or therapy is number one. Because that will generate the best outcomes for you. So look around. I'm really proud of what I do. I'm really proud of my qualifications. I worked my ass off. Got an award for highest academic achievement in sexology because I am a very big sex geek. And I'm very proud of that. So look around, see if you're happy with where the person has journeyed personally and professionally, and make a decision that's right for you. And have a chat with them on the phone before you book in for any sessions. And just lastly, the reason why I do coaching packages rather than one-off coaching sessions is because one-off sessions just don't work. Coming in for one session and sharing your sexual story and walking away is not going to give you the outcomes that you want. And it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of physical, mental energy for myself and for you to come in and use that time and not see anything come of a session, because it's not going to happen. It's going to happen when you keep coming. And my baseline package is 4 sessions, and it's been that way for almost 2 years now, and I've not looked back, because women hit this turning point around session 3 usually, and when they come back in for session 4, they are so glad that they stuck around and that they're on the other side of their issue. Because what happens is that old stuff comes up, those old sabotaging patterns, and tells you to just keep doing everything exactly the same because it's too bloody scary to change. So that's what I love about packages, is there's this sense of completion at the end with the 4. If you want more from me, I've got one-to-one sessions available now, and I've got a bonus offer, hot off the press, for the first 3 women to book packages with me. I've got a free set of sexy mantras. These are so cool, and I'm immensely proud of my creativity being paired with some beautiful design. Sexy mantras are a way of tapping in to your sexy, juicy sauciness through some beautiful words and some beautiful terms that really move faraway concepts into something that you can embody, into a way that you can actually be. And things like, I love my sexuality more than my sex life. Fuck yeah. My sexuality only requires my position. Yes, it's only your permission. So it's a set of 12 cards, hot off the press, just got them today, and the first 3 women to book sessions with me will get them for free, and they will be $24 when they're released on the interweb in the next week or so, once I get everything set up, plus postage and handling. My second offering is I have conversations coming up in 2.5 weeks. Monday the 27th of March, 7 to 9 p.m. in Brizzy at Silo, the beautiful Silo, talking about reclaiming your mojo. So I've started conversations so that women have space to ask the questions that they want to ask about sex in real life. And I promise you, when you ask a question about sex, there's 4 million other women that have the exact same question. So I find it hard to just keep generating and trying to guess what people want to know. And I thought this was a nice balance of sharing information, but then you asking the questions, and that just generates a really organic discussion / conversation about sex and life. And this is really exciting. It's going to be really cool, really excited. So a couple of weeks to go, get your tickets. There's an event on Facebook, so click through for that, or go to sexosophy.com.au/conversations. And feel free to ask me any questions through Facebook. Otherwise, I'll be here again in a week. Bye now.